Yeah.
All right, so we're here at 660 still. I don't know where the chopper is. They should be able to spot us, I think.
From the back of a pickup truck to the seat of a helicopter, these Texans are on the hunt. But they aren't after trophies or meat. They're hunting for knowledge.
We're up in the panhandle of Texas, and we're studying mule deer movements and survival, and particularly how those are influenced by agriculture.
This is the first study of its kind that we've ever done in the state of Texas. Because of the many partnerships that we have established in this project, we were able to really finally get it going.
1, 2, 3.
We're going to get some outstanding information to make the best management decisions that we can for mule deer in the state of Texas.
Mule deer are a very interesting species. People think about them in the western U.S., but we do have them here in fairly healthy populations in Texas.
They're not found throughout the state like white-tailed deer are, so they're pretty much restricted to the Panhandle or the Trans-Pecos area.
They need less brush. They need lots of open expanse habitats compared to a white-tailed deer.
But just like whitetail, mule deer are an animal people love to see.
Yeah, I can see one right in the horizon. That's a big-bodied deer too.
Mm-hmm.
Landowners depend on them as a source of income for leasing their property for hunting. So they are important to this area. And yet we know very little about them. Very little research has been done on them here in the Panhandle.
From row crop farming, to pastures for livestock production, to plenty of wide open, wild spaces. The Panhandle of Texas is the epitome of rural. And mule deer can be found just about anywhere. Just ask a local.
It's not unusual to nearly be able to walk plumb up on a mule deer or drive up on one. If they're out in the field next to the highway, you can stop and take pictures of them.
In the fall and winter, large groups of mule deer can be found grazing in wheat fields.
It's not uncommon for us to see 150, 200 a day this time of the year.
One of the big questions of this project is dealing with agriculture land versus the rangeland like you see behind me. Is there a difference in the nutritional value of the plants, or is it the deer picking it just because it's out here and they have a buffet?
To help answer this question, researchers are looking at mule deer location data to determine what they like to eat.
Here's a doe. This is a cotton field, and it also grows wheat during the winter, so she was using the crops in the area very frequently over the course of the year.
They are also collecting native plants and poop samples.
We're basically identifying the plant DNA found in the fecal material. And we did observe the deer eating sand shinnery oak and sand sage, so that gives us an idea of what we should be finding in the sample.
Another question is, how far are mule deer willing to travel for a bite to eat?
There's thoughts, both from the agency standpoint and also from landowner standpoint, that these mule deer may be showing large movements relative to different agricultural crops, 10 or 20 miles maybe.
That can impact the way we survey the deer. That can impact the way we issue antlerless mule deer permits. If we're issuing permits in a certain area, are we impacting neighbors far away that we had no idea that we would be impacting?
To answer these questions, the research team is tracking mule deer using radio collars.
And we've actually got two different kinds of collars. On the fawns, we've got a collar that emits a radio signal. Those enable us to tell where the deer is and if the deer's alive or not.
Right, that it was under a barbed wire fence. So that's an indication that it broke off. The stitching will expand on its own as the fawn grows. Sometimes it gets hung up in other things and will come off before the fawn is full grown.
The other kind of collars that we're putting on the adult deer have a GPS unit built into them. And so those collars are taking locations every hour for a year. So we'll get thousands of locations on those deer, day and night, every day of the year.
The tricky part is getting the radio collars on the mule deer.
We have deer that are radio collared that we captured back in 2015. The radio collars all transmit a signal.
Oh, there it is.
Those radio collars are allowing the helicopter crew to use radio telemetry and locate them.
Normally it takes them a little while to get the feel for the country and how the animals are acting and how they react to the helicopter before they bring us an animal.
They're going to fly to that animal, get it in an open area, fire a net around it, and that net's going to hobble them up. They'll have a gentleman get out and secure them with straps and bands. And hook it up to a line underneath the helicopter. And the helicopter will long line it in, then gently lower it to the ground for us to work on.
The team works quickly to download the collar data and take a bunch of other measurements.
We've got a huge gamut of things that we're collecting on the deer while we have them in hand. We don't normally have deer in hand.
It's just me.
Yeah. We're getting body weights, we're getting body condition, meaning how much fat they have on them. Fat for humans isn't necessarily a good thing, but for wildlife, having some extra fat on them is a really good thing.
So body condition 3 and 5 millimeters of fat.
That helps them survive the hard times, and the females will be able to reproduce better if they have more fat.
Okay.
So that's a really good measure of kind of habitat quality for these animals.
Yeah.
While it is amazing to be close to such magnificent animals, at the same time you have to be calm because these animals can pick up on any emotion like that.
So you might give him.
There's a high interest in this research project, not only from the department and our partners, but from private landowners as well.
Not every day that you get to see 2 mule deer swinging out from underneath a helicopter.
Been real interesting. It's a lot better than digging post holes or fixing fence. I got that one off my dad's place. It's not a typical thing that we get to see, and it's a pretty amazing project.
We were able to capture a lot of deer today.
See, he was a yearling last year. He's gonna look pretty nice to people out in the field. I mean, look at that body on it for a 2-year-old. Looks like a hoss.
Really excited to see the changes that have occurred in the deer from one year to the next.
Do you have his weight? I'm just curious.
112 last year. What did he weigh?
165. Yeah, some weight.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, that's fantastic.
1, 2, 3.
The deer seem to be doing really good in this area, and we're excited to find out more about where they've been all year and what they've been doing.
For now, researchers will continue to monitor the deer and their various food sources.
Tails up. I think we got poop.
Each day brings more insight.
If we look at her GPS tracks, you can see that she went back and forth between the two areas quite frequently.
If this agriculture is a good nutritional resource for the deer, we would expect those deer that are using agricultural fields to have more fat, be heavier, larger body sizes, may have larger antler sizes.
There's a lot of things in there of how we do business that this information is really going to fine tune and make mule deer management better for the state and the Texas Panhandle.
This project was funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife Restoration Program.